Odysseus-The Epic Myth of the Hero, Book 11. Now the brothers of the lover Paris fell at odds because of widowed Helen, Deiphobus and Elenus, contesting for her hand. Deiphobus the elder claimed his rights, and Helen took her place beside him in his bed. The younger brother Helenus, Cassandra's twin and prophet with a memory that stretched from long ago to misty days to come, departed Troy with dire and bitter words of doom, and blamed the foreign beauty Helen even as he claimed to love her. Riding hard, he went to live on Ida near the mountain sanctuary of cloud-gathering Zeus. I captured Helenus and brought him back to camp. He took our hospitality and, speaking freely in his wine, revealed the oracle of Troy and brought a curse down on the head and shoulders of Odysseus. Elenus, the lovesick prophet, spoke these instigating words. Inside the citadel of Troy, the king no longer has the sons to push his plans to grand fruition. Original meanings have altered in all the animosity. Aged Anchises and his bold, far-traveled son Aeneas now urge in open council peace by giving Helen back, for all concerned the very most are dead already, save man and wife, at heart the seed of all our main disasters. Priam swears to harbor Helen for as long as she is dear to Aphrodite, and the princess of her temple, Pyrrha, hair of golden flame, proclaims that flights of swallows, swans, doves, and sparrows all reveal the goddess holds her still most dear to heart. The people worship ancient Aphrodite, many to the point they claim her elder to Olympic Zeus, even as she turns their ground to blood and flames. The king can only blame the gods that will war for beauty's sake, and swears again to never let her go by threat, for such are all great burdens, bearing gifts from gods. But even so, Achaean forces never will destroy the walls of Troy and take the sacred citadel as long as the Palladium remains within and safe in bright Athena's temple cleft. Now, long ago, pugnacious Ilus became a man and crossed Scamander River, where he found the annual games in full career. He took the boxing, wrestling, and anything-goes event all in a row and won a prize of 50 youths and 50 maids and one black, white, and red young bull, with prophecy advising that he build a city where it dropped first time to rest. The bull led Ilus to the hill of Ate. Fearing dire predictions from his father Dardanus, weary Ilus slept that night out under open skies and prayed. And late a fiery meteor fell from star-filled skies and traced a blazing path directly to the feet of Ilus. He watched the blackened stone cool down till dawn, then dug it from the soil. It was a mother goddess figurine with massive, profound, fecund breasts and oracles. At Delphi and Dodona confirmed that for as long as this most ancient image of Athena rests safe inside the walls of windswept Troy, its gates can never be destroyed, nor can the sacred citadel be sacked by raiding pirates such as you, Achaeans, led by Agamemnon, king of greedy men. This sacred statue Trojans called the great Palladium, the sky-born idol of the goddess bright Athena, staving off the day of doom for hapless Troy and Priam's house. Only one among the fighters rallied here could steal the great Palladium. Just one. This said, and every eye in Agamemnon's tent followed those of Elenus, and turned to rest their baleful glance upon Odysseus. Now saving anger sparked me to my feet and gave my tongue these words to say. When oracles proclaim, best guard your stock. Watch who's to blame and who will profit from the downfall. All this war has even set the gods at odds without and now within a single heart. Athena is my dearest love, and now you bid me violate my worship of her with this vile theft. The aegis-bearing goddess surely would not brook such rank betrayal of her kindness. She would burn me with a glance as I reached out to take the stone. I cannot be the only one. A murmur rippled through the kings at Agamemnon's table. Well-pleased Elenus pursued his point. The goddess knows that Troy is bound to fall, and she would grant you leave to take her image to a grander site, a little closer to the shore perhaps, with hecatombs and singing bards. If you make it part and parcel of your prayers to pull it off, the theft of Troy's palladium, sacred to Athena, you'd throw Troy's peerless towers down to dust and sooner end this war. This said, and all that I could wonder was just how I now bore all their desperate hopes upon my head and shoulders, as if our goal were but a cunning thrust away, now mine to form and execute because the goddess loves me. Because of greater Ajax, too. Again, a saving anger put both edge and point to every single word I said. I do not fear an honest death where spearmen fight. I know which gods protect me there. And on the sea my heart is always full of reverent prayer. Which gods will aid my cause as spy and thief? This said, and Elenus again revealed his lightning mind. The same immortal god to whom you prayed the night you cut the throat of Rhesus in his sleep and drove away his chosen horses. I knew each word I said by heart to answer, scheming Helenus. You planned to shame me into sacrilege, to pilfer like a sneak thief in the dark with coward's heart, a thump up in his throat. And all because I did an army's work with one quick stroke that night and sent a horde of Thracian fighters packing home next dawn without their king. Not a single man of us so much as scratched. Their many numbers coming or going, not helping our foes one whit. You think him better slaughtered in the bright daylight with witnesses, and still others dead and gone to Hades on both sides. To sneak in dead of night you deem beneath a warrior's dignity? I swept away my cloak the easier to reach my blade and waited further word. The eyes of Elenus gazed deep into his wine, and at the corners of his lips a smile now played. Aged Nestor, king of sandy Pylos, rose and spoke these measured words to all and said, "One cup of wine for health, another for farewell. The third, and trouble is not far behind. We knew back in the day the proper way with wine, to cut the ruddy measure strength with crystal water, never letting Dionysius spark our words and deeds to frenzy. No, not in my staunch generation. Now today all is raw and jagged nerve and quick to laugh or hot to kill. The servers should be told to mix our draughts by halves with water, so cooler heads prevail. And let us test this Trojan trader's words against some seer of our own. Let Calchas come and gaze into this suspect's eyes, and say if what he claims is true or false. This man we entertain here hates his foes like any decent patriot. He also hates his friends and kin, or never would he speak to us revealing such important secrets. He might be naught but bragging drunkard, out to work us woe." This said, and Calchas rose and walked up to grave Elenus, whose lips had lost all trace of smile. Both seers stared into each other's eyes until hot tears streamed down the cheeks of Elenus. And then the fire that burned near them, up in a golden tripod, flared and sparked as if the angry flames had caught a strip of fat, and then died down. Grim Calchas broke the spell and merely nodded, and returned to where he sat. Helenus, with streaming tears, now spoke these words. to clearly see what is to come and lack the gift to make your fellow creatures understand, is king among all human miseries. Now Nestor rose again and spoke his mind. My words are mainly for Odysseus, though all may hear why I believe he is the second best of us to go to Troy as thief, as spy, as savior. First to go would be high-minded Menelaus, as he is brother to our greatest man, King Agamemnon, Mycenae's lord, and Menelaus is king in his own right of mighty Sparta. This war arose from his soft marriage bed, the feeble spark that set the blue Aegean burning bright with strife. So he would want to go to maybe get his wife as well. Bold Menelaus has been to Troy before, and you were with him then, my friend Odysseus, upon the embassy that failed to get her back, the beauty Helen, so long ago, before we mired ourselves in fruitless war. I said it then, and say it once again. The most aggrieved should never plead the case. Too often all they do is use their hurt to cause to offer further insult. So it happened then, when Menelaus rebuked the haughty Trojans in Priam, goaded into frenzy, swore to keep the faithless beauty as long as Aphrodite loves her. So might the husband here forget the great Palladium, and lose himself and tip our hand for love and beauty's sake once more. And so it falls to you, my friend Odysseus, for you as well have been to Troy before, and you among us all are quickest thinking on your feet, and hitting on what is right to suit each sudden instance. You must admit you have a mind that loves to prosper schemes. Now be the man for this. You may well hasten Troy's impending doom. The hope that shone in every eye condemned me to the painful task. I rose and said, to walk the way of war, as handed down to me by true Laertes' father, who taught me how to laugh at dour outcomes. I'll make this one-man raid on Troy and steal the stone. Odysseus will not be buried under schemes of other men, because I know I either walk with bright Athena's grace and won't be killed, or otherwise. And then I'll know my life has been a long, hard row at odds with fate. But I believe this war is just. I won't be killed. I will get home because my qualities will lead me there, and I will enter Troy carried through the Scaean gate. How I leave might be another matter then. I left the company of kings and grieving devious Helenus and bid my slave girls ready bath and bed. Elaia was a Nubian princess, stolen as a child and sold in bond in lower Egypt. A wealthy Trojan brought her on a trading mission and kept her on his land outside the walls of Troy. I captured her while raiding nearby farms for grain and oil. Halgard came from lands of snow and ice, though fire burned hot inside her heart. She too was taken as a girl and traded steadily south until I captured her on Thrace's coast, out raiding stores. These two became dear sisters, serving in my quarters all the war. They bathed my limbs and shaved my head and beard until I almost seemed a stranger in their eyes. And after making love, I lay between them, thinking of the Asiatic king who gathered all his riches and gold and all his slaves and set this richly laden palace ablazing into the night. I did not know what lengths I'd go to steal the Trojan secret guarding the safe heights. And then, when half the stars of night had set, I made my move, because I knew that if I waited, I would never act. I called Polites, friend and kin from childish days, and bid him go and summon tall Diomedes. This hero was a trusted friend, adept in war and strategy and counsel, leading 50 ships from Argos there to fight at Troy. We two had made clandestine raids behind enemy lines throughout the war. Of all Achaeans, Diomedes was best to help me now. He came at once and greeted me as if I were long lost or come from foreign parts. I handed him a whip and spoke these words: "Beat me past all recognition. Wounds shall be my sure disguise, shorn and shaved. Beat me till the Trojans will believe my tale. I'm just a slave that ran for life and limb. Let my open wounds bear witness to my claims. My blood shall run, and caked with dirt will trick the guards that watch the Scaean gate upon the heights, that I am not a threat to Troy. Whip me till my ribs stick through the wounds. I'll show all men I know the soldier's road, from dense packed shield wall to one against all, and still come home one day to Ithaca." This said, Diomedes, whose father died in war before his birth, now spoke these urging words: "I'll do this awful task because I know my place as soldier facing death as well as you. I want my home as much as you want yours. I hail your eye that clearly sees what is, what must be done, and how to do it quick. But brains without the heart to sacrifice only lead to empty talk. I'll stripe your back, but leave you with your strength. I'll carry you in dead of night and lay you down on Troy's doorstep like a babe abandoned by its mother. Strike them to the heart, Odysseus, and get us home by harvest of the vine." I gripped my friend and bid him do his work. He bound me to a post and beat me front and back and up and down until my knees gave way and blood oozed from my wounds and covered me like tar. Each breath I drew stung from head to toe, but I wasn't crippled. Wrapping me up in sheets, Diomedes carried me upon his back that night and lay me gently down in sight of Troy's high walls, naked and alone. I slept like dreamless death and never shivered in the dew.